championship bound, baby! Woo! Big love, baby! Woo! Here, man. It got a little crazy out there, but we made it through.
We're gonna keep stacking the day, so see you in the championship.
Bow! Let's go!
America's newest basketball icon, the rookie everyone's watching, the jersey everyone's buying, and the player every arena is selling out to see, was once again thrown to the floor, targeted, and left unprotected. This wasn't just a hard foul. This wasn't basketball intensity. This was a deliberate, dangerous act that played out in front of a packed crowd, live cameras, and 3 referees who somehow still did nothing. And today on the DX Hoop, we're breaking it all down. The exact moment Marina Mabrey body-slammed Caitlin Clark to the ground, the chaos that followed, the enraged reaction from Indiana Fever players, coaches, and fans, the shameful decision from the officiating crew.
Was chippy the last time these two teams faced off too. Sophie Cunningham suffered her ankle injury in that game, but in addition to that, she actually had part of her front tooth knocked out. She made contact with JC Sheldon as Caitlin Clark knocks down the triple.
But what people don't talk about enough is how hard you have to work to be able to be that good. All the hours that she's spent perfecting her craft.
Retreating, firing, and hitting.
So she can do that.
On Indiana arguing the call.
I mean, step back, you're late. She almost looks you in the eye.
And why this isn't just a Caitlin Clark issue, it's a league-wide crisis. Let's rewind to the second quarter. The Fever are pushing in transition. Caitlin Clark, as usual, is orchestrating the offense. The ball's swinging around the perimeter, and Clark is moving without it, trying to create space.
Can we talk about the physicality for a second? 2 players on the Indiana Fever got injured last night by the same player on the Connecticut Sun, and that was JC Sheldon. And I tweeted about it. She was playing so reckless. I'm fine with players playing aggressive, but there is a thin line between playing aggressive and playing reckless. When you dive for a ball, you don't land on somebody's leg. She landed on top of Sydney Colson's leg, and her leg got stuck and literally twisted around. Both injuries, both Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham, were contact injuries.
Suddenly, Connecticut's Juha Sheldon gets up into her space, and not just bodying her up legally, no. Sheldon reaches across and swipes her in the face. It's not a basketball play. It's not a mistimed contest. Her hand makes direct contact with Clark's right eye. Clark flinches back. You can see it instantly. She stumbles, clearly caught off guard, and as she tries to collect herself, she puts her arm out to gently push Sheldon off like, "Get out of my face." It should have ended there, but it didn't, because out of absolutely nowhere, Marina Mabrey comes sprinting into the frame like a linebacker. She launches into Clark's side with her shoulder, full force, no attempt at the ball. Clark goes flying. She falls hard, not just down but backward, legs giving way under her, slamming her back and hips on the hardwood. Her arms flail as she tries to catch herself. The arena gasps. It's loud, it's violent, it's not normal contact. It's a body check, the kind you'd see in hockey, not on a basketball court. Now pause. Because in the seconds after the hit, everything stands still. Caitlin Clark is lying on the floor, stunned. You can see it all over her face. Not just the physical pain, but the realization that she's been targeted again. The Fever bench explodes.
They weren't non-contact. They weren't ACLs, they weren't Achilles, they were contact injuries caused by the same player. And this kind of physicality that the WNBA they brag about. They say it's always been a physical league. That's just the heart of the It's not good basketball. And we've seen so many injuries. Paige Becker's out with a concussion. Rakia Jackson was out with a concussion. All of these injuries are contact plays. We've seen Caitlin Clark last year get chucked to the ground. We saw Angel Reese get clothesline chucked to the ground. The players continue to do it because the refs are allowing them. Why wouldn't you keep doing it if you're a physical player?
Players are jumping to their feet, shouting at the referees, pointing at Mabrey like, "You saw that, right? You have to call that." Fans in the arena are screaming. You can actually hear fans in the lower bowl yelling, "Throw her out," and "What are you watching?" And the officials, they just stand there. Silent. No whistle. No immediate foul. No stoppage of play. Just blank stares, like they didn't just witness the most obvious non-basketball act of the season. It was a moment of stunning failure. Now enter Coach Stephanie White. She storms down the sideline, hands raised, eyes blazing. She is absolutely furious. She starts yelling at the nearest referee.
Her mortal enemy. Her mortal enemy took out a player. JC Sheldon. Caitlin Clark's mortal enemy. JC Sheldon. This is a reckless play. This is reckless. It is dangerous. And this angle makes it look even worse. It is dangerous. Like, Sid Colson is between her and the ball. Sid Colson is, in fact, between JC Sheldon and the ball, and she dives through her knee. It wasn't even called as a foul. It wasn't even called as a foul.
You can see her mouthing, "That's not basketball," and you're letting her get assaulted. White begins pacing, her hands flailing, pointing to Mabrey, then to the spot on the floor where Clark was hit. She keeps yelling, "Protect the players!" And she's right, because what we saw, that wasn't a foul that happened in the flow of play. It wasn't a screen gone wrong, it was a deliberate body blow. And worse, the referees are just watching her yell. Finally, after over a minute of chaos, the officials blow the whistle and call for a video review. So they head to the monitors. Now, if you're a fan, this is where you think, okay, they've seen the replays, they've got access to all the angles. Surely they'll call this what it is, a flagrant 2 and an ejection. They sit there and they sit and they sit. 15 full minutes go by. Fans are waiting. Coaches are fuming. Clark is getting checked on by trainers. The refs are looking at the monitor like they're watching a thriller movie. Confused, unsure, indecisive. Finally, after this ridiculous delay, they rule it a common technical foul, not a flagrant 1, just a tech. That's it. The same penalty you get for taunting, or clapping in someone's face, or hanging on the rim. A player launched into Clark's body with no attempt at the ball, and the referees decided it wasn't serious, it's insulting, it's negligent, and it sets a dangerous precedent. As the call is announced, the crowd erupts in boos. You hear fans yelling, "Eject her," and she could have broken her back.
She just texts me. She never texts me during the game.
All right. Here is Clark splashing home a 3 from way downtown. Kelly escorting her back to the bench.
JC Sheldon is there with her hand in her face.
Clark is still rubbing her side. You can tell she's rattled. And the Fever players? They're stunned. Alyssa Smith walks over to the refs and points at Mabrey, shaking her head. Aaliyah Boston is literally talking to the camera operator, trying to express her disbelief on live television. And as for Marina Mabrey, she walks away smiling, jawing with the Fever bench like nothing happened. No remorse, no concern.
Third quarter we go. They're trailing by 10. Keep an eye on her and JC Sheldon. Clark trying to back her down.
Clark is okay.
Sheldon, that was Clark, hitting her in the face. Clark is upset about that. Then everybody's upset about that. Marina Mabrey comes in. She decks Clark, tempers flaring on both sides.
Because she knows the league just gave her a free pass. Let's stop pretending this is a one-time incident. This is part of a growing pattern. In her rookie season alone, Caitlin Clark has taken more unnecessary hits, non-basketball fouls, and unpunished shots than nearly any rookie in recent memory. She's been elbowed in the face, shoved in the back during dead balls, hip-checked into the scorer's table, and now body slammed.
The announcers here are saying, of course, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant 1, of course, on JC Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball. Whether it is intentional or not, you can still have a flagrant a flagrant foul called on you, whether you are trying to intentionally hurt somebody or not. But this is what they called, you guys. This is what they called. Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And JC Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
Why? Because she's popular? Because she's white? Because she's taking the spotlight? Because she represents a shift in power? Whatever the reason, the violence is escalating and the refs are silent. That's not just a bad look, that's dangerous. Let's be honest here.
When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game, it's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete and they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competition. So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better.
This isn't just about physical contact. This is about jealousy, resentment, and a league that's struggling to protect a player that is, quite literally, saving it. Caitlin Clark is filling arenas. She's spiking ratings. She's making the league relevant in ways it hasn't been in years. And yet, she's getting hammered every game, with no protection and worse, with mockery from other players. It's a culture problem, a professionalism problem, and an officiating crisis. This is a league that claims to be about growth and inclusion. But what we're seeing looks more like a reckless initiation ritual for anyone who dares to shine too brightly. Let's go back to Coach White. She wasn't just upset about one foul. She was upset about the build-up, the constant hits, the constant non-calls. She knows what's happening. She's been around long enough to know when a player is being singled out. She sees it. The jealousy, the envy, the tension. And she knows that if this keeps going, someone's going to get seriously hurt. That's why she exploded. Not for just Caitlin, but for the integrity of the game. Because when referees stop protecting players, when they let things slide in the name of physicality, they're no longer doing their job. And now the question we all need to ask, where is the WNBA? Where is Kathy Engelbert? Where is the league office? Where is the review board? How can they watch this and not issue a statement? Not suspend Mabrey? Not acknowledge the obvious targeting? If this happened to Sabrina Ionescu or Aja Wilson or Brianna Stewart, would the league allow it? The answer is obvious. And that tells us everything we need to know about how the WNBA is handling its most valuable player. Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. She's not quitting. She's not slowing down. She's going to keep breaking records, keep drawing crowds, keep changing the game. But she can't keep doing it alone. She needs protection. She needs accountability. She needs the league to do its job. Because what happened on that court wasn't just a hard foul. It was a moment of failure. A failure by the referees. A failure by the league. A failure to protect the very player they're building their future around. This is the DX Hoop, and we won't stay silent while the league looks the other way. If you're tired of the disrespect, if you're tired of the non-calls, if you're tired of seeing Caitlin Clark treated like a punching bag, do something. Hit that like button, subscribe to the DX Hoop, drop your thoughts in the comments, let the league know we're watching. Let the players know we see what they're doing. Let the refs know we're not buying the excuses anymore. We're here for basketball, not chaos. This is the DX Hoop. We don't pull punches, we call it like it is.